Good morning. Okay, so team, I wanted to record some leadership training. I've been doing a lot of leadership study and I have taken some nuggets and taken some notes, and I want to share those with you guys. And I feel like this is the easiest way to do it, to keep up with it, to be able to go back and use it later on for myself or maybe for others. So some of the leadership training I have found right in the book of the Bible. Imagine that. Okay. In going through some Old Testament study, I have seen some really incredible and some really devastating leadership qualities. And it has really helped me see ways that I can be stronger and ways that I can make corrections in myself. And recently I have been reading through the book of Ezra. While it may not be a real common book, it is a book that has a lot of leadership advice and lessons in it. And I wanted to come today and just share with you some of the things that I have learned through reading through that book. And I have titled this 6 Qualities of a Successful Leader. And it is based on the leadership of Ezra and the things that I pulled out of that book. So there are 6 pillars for personal leadership, or 6 qualities of a successful leader. I've got notes, so I'm going to be looking down. The first quality, I'm going to just tell you all 6 and then I'll break it down. So, humility, responsibility, empowerment, resources, stewardship, priorities. Those are the 6 pillars. They kind of build upon each other. Okay, so we're going to start with first. The first one is humility. In leadership, you can either save your business from the beginning by having a humble spirit, or you can crush it from the beginning by having a prideful spirit. Having a humble spirit means that you have a receptive heart. In this business, that is wildly important. If your heart is not full of grace and receiving and being able to be receptive to other people, it is going to be very difficult to build longevity in this type of business. You have to have a humble spirit. You need to be a gracious forgiver, because people are going to come along and they're going to hurt your feelings. And you need to not take that personally, because a lot of times, especially if you have a product that you love and you're sharing it with somebody and maybe they don't really like the way it's presented, they could come across in a way that could be hurtful. Unintentionally or intentionally, it really doesn't matter. But the point is, you have to have a humble spirit. Don't take that to heart. Okay? That's just their limiting belief. That doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't right or isn't good. Is your approach right? I don't know. We'll get into that in another segment, but this is about leadership. And so I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you've already fine-tuned your approach and you're approaching from a place of service and servanthood and not a place of selfishness. So you have humility. You're a gracious forgiver. So you're going to forgive your friends whenever they prejudge you or whenever they say no, right? Because we all know that those friends typically, or family, typically come back around and end up saying yes eventually, right? Because our consistency builds belief and belief builds trust. It's simple. But being a gracious and quick forgiver will help you overcome many obstacles. That's a life lesson. The only way to be a gracious forgiver is to be humble. Because a lot of times we have to put our pride and our self and our opinions aside to do that. You've got to be willing to listen, and you got to be eager to learn. You got to be able to lean in and really hear what your friends are saying so that you can address their objections. And also not being set in your ways, realizing there's more than one way to get to the top, especially in this business. Out of the hundreds and hundreds of diamonds, they may all have some things in similarities, but they are wildly different. And the way they got there could have very simple same steps. They all go with consistency. They all go with their belief. They all go with their passion. They're all pursuing a purpose, but their approach is based on their character. It's based on their personality and their friend circle and the people God brought into their life. Okay? So embrace that uniqueness about yourself and have a humble spirit. Okay, the second one is responsibility. In leadership, it is vital for building and maintaining influence. You should have a strong desire for helping others. It is your responsibility to show up to what you promise to show up to. Okay? So in this business, you have to personally take responsibility for your promise to others. If you got somebody started on products, you've promised them that you're going to help them through their journey, no matter what that looks like. That's your promise to them. Okay, so be a promise keeper. The second promise is to yourself. If you've promised yourself that you want to be an emerald, you want to be a diamond, you want to be a ruby, then you've got to show up for yourself. You got to keep your promise to yourself. You have to take responsibility for the areas in your life that are holding you back so that you can become that success story that you're wanting to. So it's all about responsibility. Take responsibility for your day, your time, your energy. And we're going to go into that a little bit more. But if you want more out of your business, you must take responsibility to create that and change the part inside of you to allow for that growth to happen. All right, the third thing is empowerment. Learn to empower people. Empowered people empower people. Just like healthy people heal people. Hurt people hurt people, right? Okay. So see the bright side on things. Be somebody's cheerleader. Be everybody's cheerleader. And show people how to accomplish the goals that they have set. So if you have somebody that started with you for the health perks, guys, be their encouragement. Show them the way. It is your job to equip them. You've got to empower them. Make them believe they can do it. Make them believe this is going to work for them. Right? Be a problem solver. When they give you hesitation, that is your job to solve that problem. It's your job to encourage them that they're on the right track or help them find the solution. Plug them into places that make them feel important. Add value to their life. Be open to others, especially ones that maybe their character is different. Maybe they look different. Maybe they act different. Be open to different personalities and empower those people in their own personalities. Give them great resources and tools. Okay, so that brings me to number 4, resources. Leaders create resources. Not only do you show up and you show someone how to use those tools or point them in the right directions to use those tools, but you're using those tools yourself. So you use your resources and then you teach the resources to the people that are trusting you with their health or their wealth, okay? So resources are huge. Be a shower, not a teller. So you have got to make sure that if you are equipping others with those tools, that you are using those tools yourself, okay? Be a learner with your team. The number 5 is stewardship. Leaders are good stewards with people's time and trust. If people are trusting you with their time is the most expensive thing that you can earn. When you have time freedom, you don't ever want to give that up. But that comes later on in success. Okay, we're going to go on to that. But if you are a good leader, that means that when someone has trusted you with their time, their money, their health, you're a good steward with that. You show up to steward them, right? You lead with integrity, and that builds trust. If you ever want someone to trust you to help their friends, you must have that trust built. If you're having a hard time getting people to trust you to help them with their friends, they don't trust you enough. You've got to build that trust. Trust comes from genuine relationships, okay? Priorities is number 6. This is the last pillar. Leaders have priorities. Leaders are not wishy-washy. They don't wake up one day and kind of do it. They don't question, is it for them every other day, depending on the temperature of their mood or the temperature of their team. No. Leaders have solid priorities. Leaders prioritize their business to the level that they expect their success. If I want to be a diamond, I'm going to work like a diamond. If I want to be a senior ruby, I'm going to work like a senior ruby. Because I can either pay now, pay into my team, pay into my investment. I can invest right now in these years so that I can have time freedom in the years to come. Or I can play the game, show up sometimes, be wishy-washy, have my business on the back burner, show up to it when I need something out of it, but then I'm going to pay later because I've invested all of this insignificant energy into something that's not proving fruit in my life, and it's not beneficial. You're not using it to its full benefit, right? It might be beneficial as in it's paying for your products or you've helped a couple of people. And guys, if that's where you're at and that's where you feel you want to be, this isn't the training for you. I'm talking about leaders in this business, people who want to get to the top. Like your goal is emerald, sapphire, diamond, re-entry, diamond, emerald, sapphire, diamond. Okay? I'm not talking to people who are content where they're at. That's a hobby. Today we're training on a business. So you must know your best yes for your day, your week, your month, your years, your 10-year plan, your 20-year plan. I'm not saying that it's got to be solid and there's no wiggle room and no place for God in that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you should be in tune and in line this way so that you know what's going on this way, okay? And in order to do this, you got to do this, and that's priorities, right? Okay, so the other thing I want to point out about priorities is how can you expect somebody to allow you to lead them if you don't even know where you're going? Nobody has time to get in a car and go for a joyride. So you need to know what your GPS is set to, and you need to know that that GPS is getting you there, right? So you've got to allow priorities. I already said that you pay now or make the investment or pay later, or you can play now and spend what you earn and sometimes show up as a business builder and pay later when you have minimal success, right? Okay, we tend to do things we find important. Prioritizing our business and being consistent will establish its importance in your life. It's creating a business habit. It's creating that priority. It's setting boundaries. Leaders have boundaries. Okay? Our priorities in our organization and our implementation of the tasks required for success will always give us results. So basically, if we set ourselves a priority, we organize our days and our weeks around that priority or those priorities, we implement the tasks that it takes to accomplish those priorities, you will get results. End of story. The only way to fail is to quit or to not show up, right? So if you're implementing these 6 things in your business, you will be successful, okay? So my encouragement is simply this. Take your business off the back burner and put it back on the front burner. Show up for people. Make your business a priority. Steward the people you've been entrusted with well. Provide resources for those people so that they can be empowered, because it is your responsibility. And in all of that, do it with a humble heart and a kind spirit.